My name is Rachel, and I never imagined that returning to my ex-husband's house after so many years would feel like walking into a trap. It had been nearly a decade since I'd divorced Daniel, my husband of 12 years. Our separation had been messy, heated arguments, bitter words, and a courtroom battle that left me drained both emotionally and financially. I had moved on, built a quiet life for myself, and had no intentions of stirring the past. But that day, a phone call changed everything. Rachel. "It's time you see what's been happening at Daniel's," my friend had said, her voice tight with urgency. "He's up to something, and I think it involves your daughter, Emily. Please, just come and see for yourself." I hesitated. For years, I had avoided that house, that man, that chapter of my life. I had told myself that whatever Daniel was doing was no longer my concern. But when my daughter was involved, I knew I couldn't ignore it. I parked my car down the street from Daniel's house, my palms sweating despite the cold air. I stared at the familiar, yet somehow different, facade of the home I once shared with him. Memories of arguments, laughter, and heartbreak flooded my mind, but I pushed them aside. My focus was on Emily, my little girl, now a teenager, and making sure she was safe. As I walked up to the front door, I noticed movement inside. A woman appeared from the side entrance, wearing a neat uniform. She was the housekeeper, someone I vaguely remembered from years ago. But now, her eyes were sharp, alert, and filled with suspicion. "Leave now!" she shouted, her voice echoing through the empty driveway. I froze. My stomach dropped, and a million thoughts raced through my mind. "Excuse me?" I asked, taken aback. She stepped closer, planting herself firmly between me and the door. I said, "Leave. You have no business here. He doesn't want you inside, and if you step another foot forward, I can't guarantee what will happen." I blinked, trying to process the intensity in her voice. It wasn't the polite warning of a concerned neighbor. It was fear, and maybe even anger. My heart pounded. I need to see Emily," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "She's my daughter." The housekeeper's eyes softened slightly, but her stance didn't change. "I know she is, but he's changed. He's dangerous when cornered. Please, for your safety, leave." A shiver ran down my spine. I had never thought of Daniel as physically dangerous, but the weight in her voice made me pause. Something had changed, something sinister. "I can't just leave," I said, my voice firmer now. "If my daughter is involved, I need to know what's happening. Emily, she deserves a mother who will stand up for her." The housekeeper hesitated. Finally, she said, "Okay, but you must follow my lead. Don't confront him, don't argue, and whatever you do, don't panic. I'll guide you." I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. Together we entered the house cautiously. The smell of cooked food and faint perfume filled the air. Everything seemed normal, almost deceptively so. But I could feel the tension under the surface, like a taut wire ready to snap. We moved through the hallway in silence. I noticed framed photographs of Emily on the walls, happy memories from the past, now overshadowed by the present unease. The housekeeper whispered, "He's in the living room. Stay calm, and I'll get you to her without him noticing you too much." When we reached the living room, Daniel was sitting on the couch, flipping through a magazine. He looked up briefly, his eyes narrowing when he saw me. His expression was a mix of surprise, irritation, and calculation. Emily was sitting beside him, reading quietly. She hadn't noticed me yet. My heart ached. My daughter looked older, more independent, but still vulnerable. The housekeeper leaned close and whispered, "Stay behind me. Let me handle this." I did as she instructed, my hands trembling slightly. The housekeeper approached Daniel with authority, her voice calm but firm. "Daniel, she's here. We need to talk." Daniel's eyes flicked to me, and for a moment I saw a flicker of uncertainty. He straightened, trying to compose himself. "Rachel, what are you doing here?" His tone was deceptively calm. "I came to see Emily," I said, keeping my voice steady. "I just want to make sure she's okay." He leaned back, crossing his arms. "She's fine. Everything is fine. You have no reason to be concerned." The housekeeper's gaze hardened. "Don't lie. I know what's been going on behind these walls." And I'm not letting anyone get hurt, especially her. Daniel's jaw tightened. For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes, not of me, but of being exposed. Something was unraveling, and he knew it. I finally stepped forward, my voice stronger now. Emily, sweetie, can I talk to you for a minute? Emily looked up, startled. Mom? I nodded, giving her a reassuring smile. Yes, it's me. Don't worry, I'm not here to fight. I just need to know that you're safe. Daniel's face darkened. Rachel, this is unnecessary. You're overreacting. I ignored him, kneeling beside Emily. Honey, tell me the truth. Has anything happened? Has anyone made you feel scared or uncomfortable? Emily hesitated, glancing at her father. Then slowly the words came. Dad, he's been controlling. He doesn't want you to visit. He says it's better this way, but sometimes he's mean. My heart sank. I had suspected manipulation, but hearing it directly from my daughter confirmed it. I looked at Daniel, whose calm facade was cracking under the scrutiny. The housekeeper spoke up again. He's been trying to isolate her, make her dependent on him. I've been trying to protect her, but I can't do it alone. That's why you need to be careful, Rachel. I nodded, determination surging through me. I understand. Thank you for warning me. Now, we need to do something. For the next hour, we carefully navigated the conversation. I focused on Emily, ensuring she felt heard and supported. I asked gentle questions, letting her share her experiences without fear. Every time Daniel tried to intervene, the housekeeper subtly redirected the discussion, keeping the focus on my daughter's well-being. Finally, Emily said something that made my blood run cold. Mom, he keeps threatening to take away things that belong to me. He says if you come back, he'll make life really hard for me. I felt a wave of anger and fear. How could someone do this to a child? But I stayed calm, remembering the housekeeper's warnings. Panic would only make the situation worse. Emily, I said softly, you're not alone. We will make sure you're safe. I promise. But we have to be smart about it. We can't let him scare us, okay? She nodded, tears welling in her eyes. Okay, Mom. Daniel finally spoke, his voice low and controlled. Rachel, you're making this complicated. You should leave now. I looked at him, my eyes steady. No, Daniel. Not until I know Emily is safe. Not until I understand what's been happening in my absence. The housekeeper stepped beside me, placing a protective hand on my shoulder. You have every right to be here, she said firmly. And you're not leaving until the truth comes out. For a moment there was silence. The air was thick with tension. Then, slowly, Daniel began to unravel. He admitted to being overly controlling, to isolating Emily, and even to manipulating situations to keep me away. He tried to justify it, but the truth was clear. His schemes, his intimidation, none of it would hold up against the calm, steady presence of a mother who refused to back down. By the end of the evening, Emily felt reassured. She hugged me tightly, whispering, I knew you'd come. I hugged her back, feeling both relief and exhaustion. The housekeeper smiled at me, a silent acknowledgement of the battle we had faced together. As I left that night, I realized something important. Returning to a place filled with painful memories could have been dangerous, yes. But standing up for your child, confronting manipulation, and trusting your instincts, that was worth every risk. Walking back to my car, I took a deep breath. The house behind me, once a symbol of heartbreak and fear, now felt like a place where the truth had finally been revealed. And while the road ahead would still require caution, I knew one thing for certain. I would never let anyone intimidate me or my daughter again.